Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mind of STEM channel, where you get your daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. My name is Leon Jones, and in this segment, we're going to continue with our construction series. But if you didn't see last week's video, you need to check that video out, because in order for you to understand this afternoon's topic, you have to go back and look at the video that I did on reading blueprints. Because you don't know how to read a blueprint, the field of construction is not for you. And this topic relies on blueprints. And this topic is estimating. So, the title of this afternoon's video is Everything You Need to Know About Construction Estimating. Everything you need to know about construction estimating. Now, what is construction estimating? Well, construction estimating is basically a process of anticipating the expense of building a physical infrastructure. This step is essential and one of the most crucial in the construction process. Estimators need to be as accurate as possible because profit margins, the livelihood of contractors, are impacted if any estimate direct, or let's say estimated direct and indirect costs for the project are off even by the slightest amounts. Again, when we talk about estimating, you got to make sure that your estimate is accurate because contractors want to make profit. And usually a contractor makes about 2 to 3% profit on a project. Now, every successful project starts with a precise and accurate cost estimate. By the end of this commentary, you will know the basics of estimating and learn the importance of its role in delivering successful commercial and residential and industrial projects. Now, why is the estimate important? Well, accurate estimates when new projects and business for companies. Now, in the bid estimation phase, construction documents, takeoffs, and other direct costs are used to allow the estimator to determine the approximate job cost, or to be more technical, the approximation on job cost. Now, customers and builders are concerned about the price of a project because of the financial impact of expenditure overrun and the failure of project completion. Now, it is in the interest of both parties to spend time researching and estimating the expenses. Why? Because in the long run, no one wants to lose money, and construction estimating provides a useful tool in project management. Now, cost estimating key components. Now, cost estimating on a project is typically responsible for the project estimator, manager, or other staff, depending on the type, size, and scope of the project. Each project is different, so that an estimator will look at the takeoff to measure materials, time, and labor. Now, cost estimations are the total cost and expenses of a project from start to finish. There are many ways to classify expenditures, but great estimators will categorize them into direct and indirect costs. Now, when we talk about direct costs, they're basically costs and expenses that are accountable directly for a specific activity in construction. Again, direct costs are costs and expenses that are basically accountable directly for a specific avenue or activity in construction work. Now, some examples are, of course, labor, field workers, equipment and materials, field workers and labor are the same. Now, you also have indirect costs. Now, these are expenses that are not directly specific toward any construction activities. Now, these costs are called overhead costs. Now, examples of project overhead expenditures are utilities, quality control, security costs, administrative costs, temporary structures, legal fees, and permits. Now, when I talk about a temporary structure, if you're going to build a building, a temporary structure is scaffolding. If I'm going to be building a dam, I'm going to have to reroute that water. So I'm going to have to use shoring and build a cofferdam. Okay, now, when it comes to construction estimating, there are levels of accuracy. Now, the estimated costs during the earlier stages of a project have less accuracy, and those expected later have higher certainty. The ranges will be higher at the beginning of the project and will narrow down as the project advances. So project cost estimates are characterized by how precisely defined the scope is at the time of estimation. Now, the ASPE, which is the American Society of Professional Estimators, classifies cost estimates in order of levels 1 through level 5. Level 1, order of magnitude. Now, the order of magnitude estimation is an extremely rough estimate before the project is well defined. It is solely on expert judgment and previous cost of similar projects. So the typical range in this level is from 25% to 75%. Level 2 is an intermediate estimate. Now, the primary purpose of the intermediate estimate is to determine project feasibility from the concept of the general project. Large-scale commercial projects develop this type of estimate because they use the information to basically decide whether to carry out or abandon the project. Now, there's level 3. This estimate uses a somewhat detailed scope to consolidate unit costs. It is accurate enough to be used as a basis for project financing, and sometimes project budgets are authorized solely on the preliminary estimate. Therefore, it is essential to be as accurate as possible to differentiate between alternatives. Now, you have level 4. It's called the substantive estimate. Now, the substantive estimate is based on estimated unit cost. This estimate is created by analyzing reasonably finalized project designs, objectives, and deliverables that are established by the company. Again, when you're dealing with an estimate that's substantive, it's basically created by analyzing reasonably finalized project designs, objectives, and deliverables that are established by the company. Additionally, it is used to control project expenditures to stay within budget. Then you have the definitive estimate, which is the most accurate estimate. Now, this estimate, again, is the most accurate and reliable because it occurs when all costs are known. Again, the definitive estimate is the most accurate and reliable estimate because it occurs when all costs are known. It is used to create bids, tenders, and cost baselines. Remember, all estimates are calculated by assumptions and can be susceptible to change when costs are updated. Now, when we get into estimating, number of contractors use estimates for bids. That's known as a bid estimate. Now, bid estimates meet the criteria in the level 5 definitive estimate in terms of accuracy. The bid combines construction documents, takeoffs, and direct costs. Now, in the bid estimation process, the estimator approximates the project cost and submits paperwork to ensure the project's potential. Now, determining budget from estimates. Well, establishing a budget is crucial in construction management. So the estimator or project manager calculates the total cost of the project and level of funding and budget allocations necessary for completion. Now, this calculation leads to creating the budget. Now, the project manager estimates the total cost by using the estimate and includes risk management activities along with reserves, which in that reserves, you can also say contingency and management. Now, when we talk about project estimation in construction estimating is vital in the project management role, and companies must invest resources in technology to make this role effective. So it is important to know the basics of estimating because it can make or break a project. That also can make and break a company's business. Estimates are the stepping stone to getting the bid, which ultimately wins projects. Without accurate construction project estimates, there is the likelihood of catastrophic financial consequences. Now, there are two ways to do estimates. There's the good old utilizing the plans to calculate all the unit costs by hand. You can also utilize Excel. And then there's project software like Bid for Build. I just gave you three. But either way, when it comes to construction estimating is the process of anticipating the expense of building a physical structure. Now that concludes this topic on construction estimating. If you like what I just presented to you, please comment, share, and subscribe. And I want you all to get the likes up on these videos because these videos are very informative. And here on the Mind of STEM channel, my job is to give you all of the information you need to know about STEM. That's why I came up with the concept, the Mind of STEM channel, because there are a lot of good careers within STEM. Many individuals don't know where to go, but this channel gives you an overview of the subjects within STEM. Now, if you're looking for some political content and some news, check out the 401 Talk Zone radio show on YouTube. Now, if you're going to look for deeper conversation, you can check out the 401 Talk Zone radio show on Blog Talk Radio. I'm going to be bringing that back. The guest calling number is 215-383-5785. Now, if you cannot find me on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, you can find me on Twitter and MeWe. I'm also on Parler, but Parler is down again for some reason. But here on the Mind of STEM, I want you to like all the videos because the Mind of STEM is where you can help your career grow. And here on the Mind of STEM, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. And once again, I thank you for listening to the Mind of STEM channel right here on YouTube. I'll be bringing other topics here in the construction field on the Mind of STEM, and eventually I'm going to actually go out in the field again, show you some inspection practices, and I'm going to try to get my whiteboard working so I can do some mathematical problems so you'll have an idea of the basics you need to survive in the fields of STEM. Again, thank you for listening and viewing this content from the Mind of STEM channel, where you get your daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Please have a wonderful and blessed day.